am reading some of the pieces that I'm producing, and that means that these are things that I wrote. The reason
This is you, and this is the car, which means it's what you drive. Okay, organic intro. I'm just a normal, regular guy. Okay, don't think about it.
Is it weird to do without a chat?
I just don't like making videos. By the way, what's up? It's me, single microphone Michael.
Single father.
Actually, who have you been speaking to? Kind of like your dad in a way.
Sometimes.
Oh my God, look who it is. Give like a description of who you are, your name, and name most of your videos.
My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 308 Negro Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Keep going.
Can't remember what he said. What else he says?
It's something along that I don't watch Better Call Saul. What the hell are we doing again?
Well, you wanted to show me your favorite YouTube channel.
My personal friend.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel like that. So me and Ethan are staying together right now in a little Airbnb, and one of the things we've been doing for leisure, fun, like electively, is watching Jordan Peterson videos.
Obviously.
If you're not, give a quick summary of Jordan Peterson, this fine work.
I mean, you may know him from being infamously transphobic by insisting that the Bill C-16 in Canada was going to imprison people for misgendering trans people, which was not true, and yet he gained an incredible following from lying consistently about that, even going so far as to say that he would rather go to jail than use pronouns that someone prefers.
Which, as opposed to him actually being, say, a so-called free speech advocate, is instead manifested as just transphobia.
Yeah.
Via being like way too verbose and eating a thesaurus before he makes videos. We did find out there's a whole new video. He was recently banned from Twitter for similarly just inane nonsense about him being censored on a public platform.
Yeah.
Which is not like, it doesn't belong to the public sector. You are not owed a Twitter account for saying some pretty horrendous and very transparently transphobic hate speech against Elliot Page. There was no veil to it.
Yeah.
But he spent the whole video going like, well, I'm being silent. He went full Kermit. Well, I'm being silenced for something. And one of the first things he does in the video is describe what it was.
Yeah.
He reads the email that he sent him.
And then he goes, what do they mean?
What could this mean? All these letters are jumbly-gobbledygook to me. In Canada, we just have French. Oh God, he's released a bunch since.
Yeah.
The hell?
He's uploaded 11 times today. Really raking it in. But the video that we wanted to watch, he uploaded yesterday called Why Twitter is Insane.
And it's a breezy 13 and a half minutes.
I want to watch some of his shorts before we get into the into the meat of it.
The fresh new one from 2 hours ago.
I know. He's on one.
ridiculous, blind to make the assumption that hierarchies in functioning Western democracies are fundamentally predicated on power and tyranny. And then, I can use a biological example too, which would place me outside of the postmodern realm of argument, because the postmodernists don't believe in biology, but they act like they do because they all die.
What?
Wait, is that the end of it, by the way?
That's the end of the short.
Wait, but I'm a postmodernist Marxist something or other nonsense bullshit, and I'm going to die? I didn't know that because I deny that biology exists at all.
Yeah, period. It's a very common, fascist rhetorical tool to use biology as a justification for further fascism.
Exactly, yeah.
Him making the argument that it's like, oh, those who oppose my ideology don't even believe in biology, and yet they die. It's like
checkmate.
One weird leap after another.
Yeah. Most fascist debate stances are always predicated on the other not believing or attending to something really obvious to their collective, right?
Right.
But it's always a straw man. So it's not something that other people don't believe.
No.
It's just a testament to the fact that when you're in a room full of swamp Andes, you're able to really easily say well, did you know that liberals, actually, they sit down standing up? Did you know that they eat backwards?
And they don't believe in air.
And yet they breathe. And yet every day, these young men... Cut to compilation of Jordan Peterson crying and me laughing. A fade of me laughing drifting across Jordan Peterson crying. How much money and influence would it take to get me and create a clash with Jordan Peterson?
Oh my god.
Do you think we're in the same weight class?
No. I mean, he would never do it.
If the Kochs funded it or something.
All right, maybe he would. All you need to do is just like sneak in some apple cider like a fucking cobra and just spit it into his face.
Oh, I melted. It's interesting to see. One of the things that I adore so much about Jordan Peterson is I do think a lot of his rhetoric is sincere. And I don't mean that as an endorsement of what he says. I mean it as something that makes it even funnier. You point to a Shapiro, a Crowder, any of the intellectual dark web, any of his peers, and it's clearly exclusively financially motivated, as best proven by the fact that 90% of them are failed entertainment writers, performers. They come from industries where they took a big L or worked in leftist to center Democrat media, were even worse at it than the Standard, and instead transitioned to a much easier super PAC funded environment.
Absolutely.
Jordan Peterson, with the exception of some climate change stuff on Joe Rogan fairly recently, just seems to have been broken by the first conflict he was ever in.
Yeah.
At which point he, as a professor, the dark professor of Canada, after that, the man just, his brain crumbled and he's been unable to have any takes that aren't at least rooted in his heart. And that's why he starts crying whenever somebody's like, Jordan, how's it just only eating beef?
Having children, I always...
The camera had to move because his tears are about to shoot out sideways and like an anime sweat bead is about to go down his head.
I don't even have a joke. I don't even have a joke right now.
I don't even have a joke right now.
Yeah.
Like this is supposed to be like a comedy podcast, and he's just like,
you've kind of killed it, Jay.
I had children.
And I lost them in my house.
The Kochs took them in exchange for my labor.
Yeah, he's like Liam Neeson, except to get his kids back, he has to present anti-climate change propaganda.
And this is a good hint for people who have children, but with regards to your family members at all, is don't take it for granted.
Like, even when he's like bawling and like crying, he still can't make a fucking point in less than 8 minutes.
Yeah. Verbose doesn't even do it credit.
No.
I forget what the name of it is, but there's like a general social phenomena when if somebody wants to sound intelligent, they throw in a bunch of connective statements. So it'll be like, well, the thing about the transnational Marxism, leftist postmodernism, and here's what I think about it. And it's just always, that's the entire foundation of like Rogan. And that's the thing. And here's the thing about it. They're trying to stop kids from wearing backpacks that don't have LGBTQ plus flags on them. Did you know that? That's
and what
true.
it connects to is the rest of the issues. What makes a man desirable?
Ooh, guess.
Not being caught up in the social norms.
Not getting caught up in behavior that goes against the hegemony or whatever. You have to appeal to that tiny divot in their brain that makes them like horizontal stripes or some psycho shit.
Mate across and up success hierarchies, and men mate across and down.
I would really love him to stop saying mating.
Female.
Yeah.
Femoid.
Yeah, he's speaking like a fucking, like he's talking about animals.
Yeah, it is. It's like livestock.
Yeah.
What they really enjoy is if you were to massage the thigh in the most precise manner possible. Now, if I were to have sex, my wife, of course, is busy with her boyfriend. But if I were to sleep with my wife, I would do it with as much competence
and generosity.
They want conscientiousness or openness, as well as other desirable personality traits.
They want desirable personality traits.
Fuck, why didn't we say that?
Not fair, dude.
We could have guessed that easily.
But I've been dating sideways and on a y-axis or whatever.
And men mate across and down.
Dating diagonally.
I'm dating up and down. I'm falling over.
Like a parabola. You know?
I'm dating in 4D.
Why Twitter is insane.
Oh, here we go. And our main presentation, and that's sometimes it's hard to look at the view count.
Yeah.
But we're better, right? We're more base, so I'm not even jealous.
I'm reading some of the pieces that I'm producing, and that means that these are things that I wrote.
Like talking to children.
This is you, and this is the car. Which means it's what you tried.
I'm reading some of the things I've produced.
Which means I wrote them. How could you not like him? It's so fucking funny.
Doing that rather than speaking extemporaneously is because now and then, if I'm pushing myself.
I gotta get another White Claw. I'm stressed, dude.
Listen, get your White Claw extemporaneously,
I'm getting my White Claw, which is to say I drink it.
so to speak.
I have to choose my words with the undue care that writing allows. And I suppose that has the disadvantage that's associated.
Like, I think he's trying to say that sometimes when you read something, you don't have the exact interpretation of what someone means. And this is what he said instead of that.
And I suppose that has the disadvantage that's associated with reading something rather than speaking off the cuff, but the advantage of precision and care.
This is precise.
And yeah, this is nothing if not precise.
This is why you go through, just to make sure you got over the word count. It's like he's writing an essay the night before, which is to say that I was, and it to be the on to thine.
It's hard to replicate because it's such a practiced way of speaking. And
That has been rewarded.
Absolutely.
Tenfold. Like, it
Yes.
works for his audience.
100%. And I think like there's a mythological application of intelligence that we have for people who speak this way, when in reality he's saying something so simple that an actual intelligent person would be able to put in a way that's actually conducive to understanding.
Yeah, being concise is not appealing.
Yeah.
You're supposed to speak in legalese when you talk about the law because then it validates you. You wear a suit because it denotes intelligence and professionalism. When in fact, in theory, a couple of guys just in some sweatpants, some shorts could maybe be
little
highly
smarter.
intellectual, a little smarter, a little bit more qualified as professors, as dark professors.
Yeah, I think I could make a good dark professor. What would you teach if you were a dark professor?
Well, I'd lead the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
So today I'm going to read a piece that I entitled, Why Twitter is Insane.
Oh! That cut in like he slammed poetry.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is the Dark Professor, and I would like to today read a piece to you that I have been working on based on a recent breakup. Love me! Don't love somebody else, Ethan! Well then! It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's just like, it's jagged.
It's a sharp sentence.
Use of certain forms of social media, particularly by girls just entering adolescence, was directly and causally associated with higher rates of depression and depression-related symptoms.
Really interesting perspective to say that like young girls are the real victims of social media, as someone who's been having a continuous meltdown on social media for like a month.
Most actively about the reactions he's been getting from the bullshit he's saying, which is largely coming from non-cis guys.
Yeah.
So basically, girls and everybody else that is not a cis guy has been clowning on him. And he's like, well, actually, they're depressed and they're taking it out on me. Well, actually, the reason my shoes don't fit is because trans teens keep rickrolling me.
Imagine, for example, that you learned a particular pattern of communication in your family, one that, when used on others, triggered a passive or even outright aggressive resistance.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't use that language then.
Yeah.
Because you care about your family and would not want to hurt their feelings.
He's describing communication.
Yeah.
He's just describing, like, cause and effect.
Yeah, I mean, actually, there are probably many things you could say to your family that would trigger a passive or even outright aggressive resistance.
Yeah.
Like, I hate you. If you say that to your family, they might have resistance.
I don't like you being my daughter. It bothers me. Like, oh, well, that's the thing about snowflakes.
Yeah.
They hate being disowned.
The unusual method of communication you had been taught, one that did not generalize well to the broader social environment, would characterize you, at least as far as society is concerned, as insane.
You know how, like, when you're writing and you have to write, like, you write a pause, so you put it in between, like, two commas, right?
Sure,
You write
yeah.
comma, aside, comma to, like, segregate it. Every sentence that he says has, like, 25 of those.
It's nuts.
He talks in such vague terms, and it makes me so mad because he's like, this pattern of communication that your family will resist you for, will label you as... It's like, what's the pattern? What are you talking about?
Yeah. What's the subject?
Are you talking about, like, misgendering people? Are you talking about killing them with a gun? you could be saying anything right now.
Well, the truth is that he has to keep it vague because his target demo absolutely knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
And it's when they came home with like a picture of Ocasio-Cortez's feet, and they were like, I want to put these on my bedroom wall. And did you know that actually you're drinking soy milk, so you have to kill yourself? And they're just like, that's odd.
Yeah.
Hey, that's weird that you said that at dinner. Like, they're out
to get me.
this is because of ancient aliens.
In the real world, high-volume communication is extremely costly, requiring both hard-to-establish credibility, why otherwise would large numbers of people want to read or listen to you, and access to the wealth necessary for such communication, either directly through personal accumulation or by proxy.
If you got to get that essay done by midnight, you got to hit a word count and cosplay intellect. Get in there with an extension every single time.
Absolutely.
The goal of this essay, or as you may call it, a written thing,
So-called
book but small,
or by proxy, such as a contractual arrangement with a publishing house. Twitter casts these limitations asunder.
What is he talking about? I have completely lost it.
Is the tact here that if I don't explicitly name any single, because he's not wrong, like interacting on Twitter is different than interacting in the real world.
True.
You've named things that exist, like
Wealth
currency,
accumulation.
yeah, just accumulation of wealth or lack thereof, whatever, money. You might as well just go like, money's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I'm dating again. Just doing his 5-minute routine.
Yeah, what else is in the news?
So what's going on? So Bumble, it's like Tinder a little bit. I'm being kicked off. But yeah, he's just like, he just suggests topic and then he just kind of gestures to his audience. He's like, so like, money, such as when you stole some money from your ex.
Your so-called ex.
While throwing things at them and telling them borderline personality disorder was made up by the left. Or something. she's gaslighting you by talking about how she feels.
Therefore can access all those who have chosen to follow not them, but the target of their, say, insult and derision, without having demonstrated any of the competence necessary to have attracted such attention on their own.
So he's saying that like the people in his replies, who are, I'm guessing, getting a lot of likes and ratioing him,
Sure.
don't deserve the attention because they didn't earn it themselves.
They're using his platform.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's like they didn't. Well, these people aren't following you. They're
I
following me.
But
They're
maybe.
liking your post.
Well, what they're actually doing is following the person that retweeted me because I'm a fucking clown, and then liking that ratio because it's funny to watch me piss myself over multiple highly produced videos.
Yeah,
I also
for weeks.
can't help but get away from the feeling like this is a shrink's office. And he's POV to his therapist, who was just like,
Twitter provides universal access to each of its users' hard-won personal networks. The second way
Jordan.
is
So
how
what-
anyone, regardless of competence or social status, can comment to anyone else's entire network of followers.
We're going to talk about your dad. So we meant, like, well, the postmodern Marxist. He's just writing like Lost Cause over and over again.
I need a new career.
I hate my job.
This democratization of communication,
Lyrical miracle.
it massively inflates noise relative to signal, bypassing all the screening mechanisms that have been so painstakingly developed to shield us from incessant racket in the real world.
What mechanisms have been created painstakingly to
Hard
shield us?
won.
Yeah, like to shield us from racket in the. What is he talking about?
Noise.
Well, he's talking about like how like in the real world we have like barriers to noise. We don't have that.
At all. In fact, you know that for a fact because your starting point was your experience at home with your family.
Yeah.
And not getting some kind of veneer away from their judgment on what you say.
Right.
Is your goal that you go on... Because what you're asking for is to not interact. Like, I want to go on Twitter and nobody say anything mean. Okay,
Right.
well, that's your WhatsApp group, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's your... If you're lucky, your Discord.
Yeah, it's your group chat.
That's just that's just a real homie dropping in the chat with a funny meme.
Right.
You are going on Twitter to not have that. Make a private Twitter, dog.
Yeah?
I feel like I'm going insane.
Make a Finsta, Jordan.
Make a Finsta, dude. Hop on Fansly, my mans.
The third way Twitter breaks the norms of standard human interaction
Third way? What are the fucking first two at all?
Make you feel bad, make you feel sad.
Oh, okay.
is the zero cost and even potential benefit it imposes on those who engage in flagrant ethical misconduct. It facilitates the implied moral elevation that accrues to the accuser who adopts the position of virtuous judge merely by formulating an accusation, however vague, ill-founded, and scurrilous.
I'm sorry, is he saying that, like, people on the internet can lie and that's a problem?
And it's scurrilous. It is scurrilous behavior. You blackguard. He talks like Dark Souls. I feel like I'm going nuts.
If he talked normal, everyone would recognize how stupid he is.
Yeah, exactly. He would have nothing to hide behind.
He'd be like, it hurts my feelings when people lie on the internet. They shouldn't be allowed to do that.
No fair.
on.
That could be the whole video.
Yeah.
13 minutes and like,
Jordan, come on. Come on, man.
not beautiful.
Come on, I got your favorite Fruit Loops.
Did you take out the blue ones?
I took out all the blue ones.
Oh
buddy.
my goodness, time to get back online.
The mob can say anything at all about you or your thoughts online.
I hate when people say shit about my thoughts online. Step off, dude. Those are my thoughts.
I think we finally boiled him down to a thesis 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Is that he's sad that people can say what they want on the internet.
And not get in trouble.
Yeah.
Which is not the case. You know how I know that?
He got in
That's
trouble.
what you're complaining about.
Well, and what's funny too is like, yeah, people who are anonymous can be really mean on the internet. Imagine the like insane festering mob you've sent after multiple different trans people.
Via this video.
Yeah, this video and also your entire career. Like,
It's your job. You've been an educator that was just bad at regular education,
Yep.
and instead pivoted to a self-dictated curriculum of everything I don't like is actually a conspiracy against me and anybody that the Xbox group chat's too mean to.
Any member of what can far too easily become a mob can level any accusation against anyone at all, and there is little or nothing that the target can do in response.
Like make a video.
yeah, like make an insane amount of money over it. No.
Perhaps most worrisome of all is the fact that this incited rage bleeds over into the real world. All the impotent anger generated is externalized away.
What about all the like crucial protections we have in the real world or whatever you said earlier?
Yeah,
Like closing your eyes.
screaming. Screaming and running away.
Yeah.
Asking your dad to be nicer. Apologizing.
An ambitious PhD student, in case one's listening, could expose one group to Twitter for half an hour, another randomly established to another social media network, and a third, if desired, to a reading task.
He's literally doing that meme where it's like fucking like 2 lines and like one's like all the way out the door and it's like sex.
Oh,
and
yeah.
No people. It's like library.
A particularly ambitious college student.
That's the
ambitious
one.
and handsome and whoever would love my videos. And cool and kind of I would be something of a sensei. Mayhap. A pupil to make my very own. But love me, Jordan Chan.
Study participants could then be assigned, say, a competitive aggression research task to determine if Twitter exposure heightens the proclivity to respond in kind with punishment to provocation.
What's the test for that, Jordan? What's your method for that one, pal? Stanford prison experiment.
I just love the idea that he's like pitching this like whatever study that he's saying some PhD student should do when like, but you're already drawing conclusions from this hypothetical study.
What's
like
what's it for?
Yeah, you're using that to be like, and that would prove the point I'm making.
That I already said.
Yeah.
Twitter's reward structure, even more than Facebook's, incentivizes malignant narcissism. It enables and benefits free riding and prioritizes psychopathic motivation.
Jordan's like fucking mad that people are clout chasing in his replies.
Dog, they're eating you up in the quote tweets.
Yeah.
I recently spoke about all this to the author of the article I mentioned previously, psychologist Jonathan Haidt, and Steven Pinker, the eminent cognitive psychologist.
Wow, it sounds like a party. That sounds like quite the Zoom call, Jordan.
Yeah.
How did my psychologist colleagues react? Haidt noted that Twitter indeed cuts the link between, quote, competence or value creation and prestige/reward.
What does any of that mean? What prestige? What are we playing, Call of Duty right now?
Yeah, prestige of what? What's so sad about this? It's like when Elon Musk. It's like how can you be the world's richest man and still care this much about posting?
Yeah.
To be at this point in your career where you live in the apartment from American Psycho, which you unironically don't understand.
Right.
You think is about a cool guy that loves his nice job and going to dinner.
He loves going to dinner.
Loves going to dinner and using power tools. And this matter to you this much? Because when he says, oh, the incentive structure's whack and X and Y people being A and B,
right,
he's just talking about people being mean online.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what? Ooh, 8 minutes 14. Do we need that? To say man people can be a little bit whack sometimes.
Yeah, people sure are rude.
To me, when I tell a model she's ugly.
Yeah.
Because I don't find no amount of fucking whatever.
Totalitarian so-and-so will tell me who I can whack off to. I'll stick with the Muppets. I'll stick with my own drawings. Thank you.
Likewise observed, quote, the contrast between Twitter and face-to-face communication is profound. I have been astounded at how some of my students and younger colleagues think nothing of spitting utterly gratuitous and unjustified snark at respected figures in their fields.
Yeah, for example, me. Or some shit.
Yeah, respected figures in their field. Jordan Peterson is not a respected psychologist.
No, and neither is his friend that he's quoting.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Jonathan Spank or whatever the fuck his name was.
Johnny Two Shoes.
Yeah, you know, on Twitter, you can tweet at Obama and be like, you suck, asshole. And like, if I was to see him in person, I probably wouldn't have the balls to do that. Anonymity is a powerful tool. You think a psychologist would understand that, like, anonymity allows people to be more, like, genuine, but it also comes with more, like, frustration channeled from, like, their, like, material conditions.
Yeah.
It's, like, kind of obvious to anyone who's ever engaged with social media.
Social media or just a new group.
Yeah.
Any environment where the stakes are lower socially and where your general position in life and your like personhood is not at risk. Well, yeah, you're just going to be you're going to be a little less tactful. You're going to be concerned about someone's opinion of you a little less. Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the hack is for this. Is it just it kind of sounds like what you want to do is censor people's ability to speak.
Yeah.
You want to reduce the freedom, say, of their speech and what they're allowed to say, how candid they could be, and boil it down to people only saying,
wow, you don't look like you're wearing your dad's suit.
I have to remind them that they may meet these figures at a conference someday, or that they might be on their tenure or grant review committees. The transition from meetings to Zoom in the past 2 years may have exacerbated this, but I suspect the main enabler is the sense that their reference group is their Twitter same-age peers, and that they don't have cues reminding them they're part of a multi-generational community.
He's mad because it's like, oh, if you tweet at like some fucking random psychologist, like, yo, I fucking sucked your mom's dick, like, you know, then what if he's on your like grant review board? And it's like, if someone's having to appeal to someone they view as a bad person in order to get grant for research that is an objective good,
which is not part of the merit that's supposed to earn that.
Right.
They don't grant housing benefit based on how epic you are.
Right. It has
or
nothing
your gamer
to do.
score.
Yeah, it's like if you insult the people like on your grant board and they take it personally because you tweeted about them years ago,
then they should be able to say that actually the pitch you made and the study you want to pursue is bad.
Yeah.
Because you told them that they should get Gucci slides instead of their whack-ass H&M shoes or whatever.
You know?
And that's fine. Your free speech is great.
Obviously.
But I'm your landlord and I'm setting your house on fire.
There also seems to be a dynamic of weaponizing social justice so that as our society legitimately expands rights for black people, women, gay people, and transgender people.
Oh my God. Fuck you. Wow.
Wow, he thinks rights are expanding.
And that's okay, or something. The rights he wants to give is don't ask, don't tell, effectively.
Yeah.
Just don't use an avatar of, like, Gohan if you're black, so that I don't get mad when I see it.
Don't ask, don't tell for POC.
Yeah. Sure, you can be trans, as long as you also subscribe to my email feed.
Yeah.
Where I update you on how much beef I ate in the last 48 hours. My cholesterol as of today.
And how much is too much? Here's an uncomfortable conclusion.
Is it, mate? Ooh, it's a chunky conclusion. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
After being informed by some Democrats I was corresponding with that this group, Antifa, didn't really exist. I didn't know what they meant until I asked Andy how many truly active Antifa cells he thought existed.
What do you think he's gonna say?
He's quoting Andy Ngo, which...
Yeah.
I asked Andy for a vibe check. So, Andy, how stanced up do you think Antifa is, RN?
I don't think it's going to be a number. He's going to be like
More than you can
countless.
count, yeah.
Countless across different platforms, and most of all, they're on Twitter, which is insane.
I think he's gonna say tens of thousands.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And how many active full-time equivalent members each cell might have. He thought 40 cells with 20 members each.
Right.
That's not that many people.
That's not that many at all.
Yeah.
I could beat that.
Yeah, I could fight them all off.
It's like a Batman with prep time kind of thing.
Yeah.
You give me a fortnight to get shit together,
Yeah.
I could defeat
800 people.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Yeah. But like, if I have enough guns, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
We have a gun.
Yeah.
All that damage from 800 anarchists. That's the Pareto principle.
That's the new Zack Snyder movie. 800. How did they do this much damage to the nation? Just 800 Spartan soldiers
Yeah.
of Antifa.
What damage is he talking about? Is he talking about damage to his fucking fragile ego on Twitter?
Well, yeah, you know.
All that damage.
And all those Antifa-led massacres. I don't know. Terrorist attacks.
Bombing.
Presumably.
Assassination.
Attempts on my life via Twitter.
Have we built so-called communication systems that are capable of destabilizing our entire society? Haidt believes that it was the mere...
Wait, was that rhetorical?
I mean, certainly not.
No, not particularly.
Yeah, can Twitter destabilize society? No. January 6th was organized on Parler, if you really want to talk about that.
Sure.
But
And also,
it
it's
also
like,
failed, so.
it's bothersome,
Yeah.
you know, on a broader level. It's annoying.
The more people, you don't understand, Jordan, the more people ratio Jordan Peterson, the closer we are to societal
Oh,
collapse.
yeah, it's a chaos score.
Yeah.
that it was the mere introduction of the retweet and like buttons that facilitated the tit-for-tat sharing of emotionally triggering content.
He's talking about ratioing.
Yeah.
He's literally talking about ratioing. People retweeting
Epic bird on my ass and then killing me in the quote tweets.
And that's emotionally triggering content.
That's so good, dude. Oh, I love you, Jay.
Particularly that capable of generating outrage. If a tech innovation that small can exacerbate polarization on a societal scale, how much disruption can these communication technologies, taken as a whole, create?
I hate that he's talking about how like Twitter is creating polarization. Motherfucker, you have dedicated your career to polarizing people against trans people.
And now your number one utility for that is Twitter.
Yeah.
That was the most effective way of doing it. And videos like this. What do you think you do? What does he think his job is?
Yeah.
Does he think most people just kind of fuck with this? And there are some fussy queer youth that like shout at me online? Is that it? What do you think Twitter as like an isolated platform and the way it's designed is what's destabilizing society? It's just the only forum you have that isn't full of sycophants.
Yeah.
And you don't read the YouTube comments, so it doesn't matter. What? People do this to you in person. They go to your talks and they say like, "Hey, you're ugly.
Yeah.
You're weird, dude." He's like, "That's chaos."
That's the fall of society. It's Antifa.
Hey, you look like a busted ass Magneto.
He's like, "No."
Enough to bring us down? The mental health data certainly indicate that a major toll has already been taken on female adolescents.
But like, female adolescents aren't getting ratioed on Twitter. They're getting like bullied on Instagram and Facebook. Like, we're talking about something else, right?
By people who have only read your book.
Yeah.
That's their entire literature background.
Right.
Their theory is owning your book, putting it on their coffee table, and then yelling at a woman for asking what it's about.
Yeah, exactly.
What about our social institutions? It seems clear that the potential psychological and sociological harm engendered by the increasingly monopolistic communication enterprises engaging our society are such that we should at least consider a push to conduct research on the matter.
People do.
Constantly. Your boys do. Your fucking fellas that you're on the Zoom call with.
Fucking Dr. Spinkles and fucking Mr.
Zeus.
Tall or whatever. They're fucking talking about this shit all the time.
Dude, Ronald McDonald and this whole gang of professors. They're always talking about this. All your data is that.
Yeah.
All you ever talk about.
And improving social media sharing platforms that aren't prima facie insane.
In the membrane.
We must do so before our new and in some ways miraculous mass communication systems pollute the social world beyond repair.
Now he's been shot.
By the Daily Wire Plus. Jesus, I don't even know how to wrap up a video with that much juice. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, I wish there were more videos with that much juice. Not only do I wish there were more videos from you, Jordan, and damn, you look good today. Thank you so much.
It's really kind of them to say something like that.
And to put it in a comment as well.
Yeah.
On your videos about me.
I've made videos about you.
Ethan's got videos. Name your videos. All of them. What's your channel again?
Listen.
It's here.
Ethan is online.
It's here again. Fuck, it's over there.
Oh no, get it away.
Oh, I pulled off. Oh, you've got half the subscribers. I snapped it out.
Where'd they go? Where'd they go? You can look at a video.
Bunch of them.
One or two.
Name your favorite video of mine.
Of yours?
Yeah.
Chicken Girls, the first one?
You didn't like the other ones?
I liked the other
The
ones.
other
I
one's
just thought
kinda-
the first one's funny because like you didn't know what you were getting into yet.
The other, you think it got weaker with the sequels, yeah.
I didn't say weaker. I just,
Okay. What's the first one? The first video.
Well, if I said I like the newest Chicken Girls, then you'd be like, I don't remember how many there are.
Well, if you want to check out Ethan's channel, which you should, because imagine my videos, but they are constructed.
And made by a white person.
And made by a guy that you can relate to. Maybe Jordan Peterson heads that have found this video might
Yeah.
prefer some of Ethan's videos. Ethan makes bangers.
Yeah, I definitely.
Front to back, all bangers, no skips. I'm unironically a very big fan of my friend.
Thanks, man. I'm a
So-
big fan of you too.
Yeah, okay, shut up. Go and watch Ethan's videos. Like and subscribe and fucking...
And go watch Jordan Peterson's videos. See everybody. Namaste.
And, how do you do it?
You namago.
Oh, and I'm gonna namaste as well.